With me on the sofa now is Angela Bryant. Angela's written a book called A Complete Guide to Property Investing Success. Angela, welcome to the show. Now, this is an interesting time to be publishing a book on investing in property. Why do you believe now's a good time to be buying into the property market?
Well, obviously since the credit crunch over the last few months, there's been quite a big correction in prices, and it's brought property prices back down below the long-term trend. Mm-hmm. So it gives people the opportunity to get in at prices that we haven't seen since around 2003.
Okay, so does that mean that now it's a buyer's market or a seller's market?
Well, it's very much a buyer's market. A lot of people are struggling to get their homes sold at the moment with the way things are. And property investors can come in and make a low offer, which is more likely to be accepted than when the market is hotter. And professional property investors normally aim to buy at quite a discount to open market value, so it's a very good time to be able to achieve that.
Okay, so your book, is it aimed at would-be property investors who don't know very much about the market, or is it aimed at the more professional person who knows a little bit more?
I would hope that it's of interest to both. It's a comprehensive guide for anyone who's just starting out in property investing, but equally I feel that it should be of interest to people who've already got large portfolios to see the personal story angle of my husband and myself, because my husband manages our properties and we've been very successful in terms of cash flow and keeping the portfolio running smoothly, which is also outlined in the book.
Yes, I noticed from the book that it's both very much a personal guide as well as a solid kind of reference guide. So what was it about your own personal experience that inspired you to write this?
Well, someone suggested that I write the book based on my experiences. I think what inspired me to get into property investing in the first place was that I gave up work when I had my first child, and I knew that I wanted to just be at home with the children. I wanted to be able to create wealth for our family, so I started looking into various ideas for how to get rich, and I decided that property investing was the best and most stable approach. That you didn't need any particular skills relative to other types of businesses, and you could very much begin part-time and build it up. You didn't need employees, you could work from home, so it grew from there.
And so how does it work now with you and your husband? Because I noticed Dave has his own tips that run throughout the book.
Yeah, I like to think that I work on the business and my husband works in the business, and both sides are equally important. Sometimes we jokingly say to each other, well, we wouldn't have the portfolio if it wasn't for me, and then the other one says we wouldn't have it if it wasn't for me, because I've always planned to buy the properties and think about the overall picture of building the wealth and why we're doing it, and how we can move forwards at any particular point in time, whereas he's very hands-on, looking after the tenants, doing the maintenance work at the properties. And what I find with quite a few property investors I know, the side of things that he does is what they miss, really. They don't like to get involved personally, but I'm a great believer in having as much control as possible over your investments, and it's when people are too random about what and where they buy that often things go wrong, because their properties are remote and spread and they don't know local tradesmen and they're not so in control.
So if you had one hot tip, if you like, that you would pull out from the book to pass on to watchers of the book channel, what would it be?
To find your own niche and to know that micro market really well, and preferably invest locally so that you can maximise the control that you maintain over your property portfolio.
And would you be suggesting people buy more than one property, or start with one and work up from there?
I think my view is moderate. Some people set themselves up as a property expert who has bought one property a week, and they try and encourage their followers to do the same. But I don't really believe in that approach, because I know a lot of people that have bought too many too quickly and they just lose control. They're not getting control of the cash flow and everything.
So as in everything, wine or property, all in moderation?
Yes, I think so.
Angela, that's fantastic. Thank you for bringing your book in. Thank you for talking to us. And if you want to know more about property, here's the one to buy.